My beloved child of God, settle your heart and draw closer in spirit, because this moment is not random and these words are not arriving without purpose. There is a weight to this message, not a weight of fear, but a weight of importance. Something significant is unfolding around your life right now, something that requires your awareness, your calm, and your spiritual maturity. You are not here by accident. You did not stumble into this message. There is a reason your spirit feels alert even if your body feels tired. Heaven does not interrupt without intention. What you are about to receive is not meant to frighten you, but to steady you, to anchor you, and to align you with truth. Right now, there is movement around you that you cannot see with natural eyes. Not all danger comes with noise, and not all opposition arrives openly. Some things work quietly, subtly, disguising themselves as concern, familiarity, or even kindness. This is why discernment matters more now than ever before. Discernment is not suspicion. It is not paranoia. It is clarity. It is the ability to sense when something is off even if everything looks normal on the surface. And this season is calling you to trust that inner knowing that has been trying to get your attention. You have been feeling a shift, haven't you? Moments where your peace feels disturbed for no clear reason. Conversations that leave you drained instead of strengthened. Situations that seem harmless but linger heavily in your thoughts. This is not coincidence. These are signals. And signals are not meant to scare you, they are meant to guide you. The divine allows awareness before impact so that you are not caught unprepared. You are being invited to see beneath appearances, to understand that not everyone who stands near you is meant to walk with you. There is opposition around your life, but not because you are failing. Because you are growing. Because something in you is changing. When purpose begins to mature, resistance often intensifies. This is a spiritual principle. Threats do not waste energy on empty vessels. Pressure comes when potential is real. And you, my child, carry potential that disrupts stagnation, exposes falsehood, and brings light into places that prefer darkness. That is why there is friction. That is why there is tension. That is why peace feels contested. Understand this deeply. Not every attack looks like an attack. Some come disguised as advice. Some come wrapped in concern. Some come through words that sound logical but leave you questioning yourself. The enemy does not always roar, sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it sows doubt instead of destruction. Because if it can get you to doubt your worth, your calling, or your direction, it does not need to stop you forcefully. You will slow yourself down. This season is not about reacting quickly. It is about responding wisely. Emotional reactions cloud judgment. Wisdom pauses. Wisdom observes. Wisdom waits for clarity before acting. You are being trained in this season, trained to listen beyond words, to notice patterns instead of isolated events, to measure fruit instead of intentions. People may say the right things, but fruit never lies. Pay attention to outcomes. Pay attention to how you feel after interactions. Peace and strength are confirmations. Confusion and heaviness are warnings. There is a reason your spirit has been feeling protective lately. A reason you have felt the urge to pull back, to guard your space, to limit access. This is not you becoming cold. This is you becoming wise. Boundaries are not walls, they are gates. They determine what enters and what leaves. And in this season, your gatekeeping matters. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, your plans, or your vulnerabilities. You are learning that silence can be more powerful than explanation. That restraint can be stronger than confrontation. That not every misunderstanding needs immediate correction. Truth has a way of surfacing without force. Integrity does not panic when misunderstood. It stands steady, knowing that time reveals what words cannot. Right now, the greatest battle is not happening around you, but within you. The battle between peace and anxiety. Between trust and overthinking. Between faith and fear. And this is where victory is decided. Not in external outcomes, but in internal alignment. If your peace is protected, your direction remains clear. If your heart stays guarded, your purpose stays intact. You are not meant to carry everything alone. But you are meant to be selective about who you lean on. Seek voices that strengthen your faith, not voices that feed your fears. Seek counsel that brings clarity, not confusion. The right voices will challenge you without diminishing you. They will correct you without controlling you. They will speak truth without manipulation. Let me remind you of something important. Nothing that is meant for you can be stolen by deception. What is divinely aligned with your life is protected by divine order. Delays do not cancel destiny. Detours do not destroy purpose. Even opposition, when navigated with wisdom, becomes part of your preparation. What feels like resistance today will become testimony tomorrow. You have been asking for growth, for elevation, for clarity. And growth often requires pruning. Pruning is uncomfortable, but it is not punishment. It is preparation. Some connections must loosen so that your hands are free for what is coming. Some seasons must end so that new ones can begin. Holding on too tightly to what no longer fits can delay what is meant to arrive. Do not rush decisions in moments of emotional intensity. Stillness will save you from regret. Calm will protect your future. You do not need to defend yourself to everyone. You do not need to explain your silence. Sometimes silence is your protection. Sometimes stepping back is your strength. Your worth is not determined by how others perceive you. Your identity is not defined by rumors, assumptions, or misinterpretations. You are anchored in something deeper than opinions. When you know who you are, external noise loses power. This is why grounding yourself spiritually matters now. Return to prayer. Return to stillness. Return to what centers you. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You are human. But you are also resilient. You have survived moments that once felt impossible. Think back to times when you thought you would not make it, yet here you are. Stronger. Wiser. More aware. The same force that carried you then is still carrying you now. There is restoration ahead for you. Emotional restoration. Mental clarity. Spiritual renewal. What feels unsettled now will settle. What feels unclear will align. This is not the season where things fall apart, this is the season where things fall into place, even if the process feels uncomfortable. Remain rooted. Do not allow external chaos to uproot internal peace. Do not allow temporary confusion to dictate permanent decisions. Stay grounded in truth. Stay anchored in faith. Stay aware without becoming fearful. You are protected more than you realize. Guided more than you can see. Supported in ways that are unfolding quietly behind the scenes. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust the growth that is happening within you even when progress feels slow. This is only the beginning of the message. There is more clarity coming. More understanding. More insight into how to move forward wisely without losing yourself in the process. Stay with me. Remain open. Remain steady. What is ahead requires strength, but you are becoming strong. What is ahead requires wisdom, but you are learning discernment. What is ahead requires faith, and you are not lacking it. This season will not break you. It will build you. My beloved child of God, continue to stay present in spirit, because what is unfolding now builds directly upon what you have already begun to understand. This is not a new direction, it is a deeper layer of the same truth. Awareness opens the door, but wisdom teaches you how to walk through it without fear. You are not being rushed. You are being strengthened slowly, deliberately, so that nothing shakes you later. In this season, you are learning that not every discomfort is a sign to retreat. Some discomfort is evidence that growth is taking place. When old patterns break, when familiar dynamics shift, when you no longer respond the way you once did, there is often resistance from both within and around you. People become unsettled when they can no longer predict you, manipulate you, or access you the way they used to. This does not mean you have changed for the worse. It means you have changed for the wiser. There are moments now when you may feel misunderstood. When your silence is interpreted wrongly. When your boundaries are questioned. When your refusal to engage in certain conversations makes others uncomfortable. Let that discomfort speak. It is not your responsibility to manage how others feel about your growth. Growth often challenges expectations. And expectations, when unmet, reveal motives. You are being invited to stop over-explaining yourself. Over-explaining often comes from a place of seeking validation. But you are stepping into a season where validation must come from within and from the divine, not from people who only understand the old version of you. You do not owe access to everyone who demands it. You do not owe explanations to those who misuse information. Pay attention to how peace returns when you step back. That peace is not accidental. It is confirmation. Your spirit recognizes safety even when your mind struggles to justify it. Learn to trust that recognition. Your intuition is not imagination, it is perception sharpened by experience. There is a subtle temptation in this season to doubt yourself, to wonder if you are being too cautious, too distant, too guarded. But let me remind you of something important: discernment is not isolation. You are not being asked to cut everyone off. You are being asked to choose wisely who has influence. Influence shapes direction. Direction shapes destiny. Some people are meant to walk with you for a season, not a lifetime. Their role was temporary, even if the connection felt deep. Letting go does not erase what was learned. It honors the purpose of that season without forcing it to continue beyond its time. Holding on past expiration often creates pain that was never meant to exist. You may notice that conversations feel different now. Topics that once energized you now feel shallow. Dynamics that once felt natural now feel forced. This is not loss. This is alignment. Your inner world is shifting, and your outer world is adjusting to catch up. Do not force compatibility where it no longer exists. Ease comes from alignment, not effort. There is also a lesson now about restraint. Not every truth needs to be spoken immediately. Not every realization needs to be shared. Some insights are meant to be processed privately before being expressed publicly. Silence, in this season, is not weakness. It is strategy. When you speak less, you hear more. When you react less, you observe more. Be mindful of emotional fatigue. Emotional fatigue clouds judgment. Rest is not laziness, it is wisdom. Take time to disconnect from noise, from opinions, from constant stimulation. Stillness sharpens clarity. When your mind is quiet, truth becomes louder. You are learning to separate urgency from importance. Not everything that feels urgent is important. Some things demand immediate reaction only to pull you off course. Importance reveals itself through peace, not pressure. If something pressures you into quick decisions that disturb your peace, pause. Pressure is not guidance. Remember this: manipulation often disguises itself as urgency. Wisdom waits. You are allowed to wait. You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to say, "Not now," without guilt. Guilt-driven decisions often lead to regret. Peace-led decisions lead to stability. There may be moments when you feel lonely in this process. Growth can feel isolating because fewer people resonate with your current frequency. But loneliness does not mean abandonment. Sometimes it is simply space being created for new alignment. Do not fill that space prematurely. Allow it to remain open. What is meant to enter will enter naturally. You are also being asked to revisit your relationship with trust. Trust does not mean blind openness. Trust is built through consistency, honesty, and respect. You are allowed to trust slowly. You are allowed to observe before committing. Anyone who pressures you to trust them quickly is revealing something important. Notice who respects your boundaries without resistance. Notice who honors your pace without complaint. Notice who remains consistent without needing constant reassurance. These are indicators of safety. Safe connections do not drain you. They ground you. This season is teaching you to value stability over intensity. Intensity can feel exciting, but it is often unsustainable. Stability may feel quiet, but it builds lasting foundations. Choose what nourishes you, not what consumes you. You are also being reminded that your value is not tied to productivity, approval, or performance. You are worthy even when you rest. You are valuable even when you say no. You are enough even when you are not giving everything to everyone. There is a deeper peace becoming available to you, but it requires letting go of the need to control outcomes. Control is exhausting. Surrender is freeing. Surrender does not mean giving up, it means trusting that you do not have to manage everything alone. There are things happening behind the scenes that you do not need to interfere with. Conversations you are not present in. Decisions being made without your involvement. Outcomes forming beyond your awareness. Trust that what is aligned will work in your favor without force. Your role right now is to remain anchored. To keep your heart soft but your boundaries firm. To stay open without becoming vulnerable to harm. To stay loving without abandoning wisdom. This balance is what maturity looks like. You are growing into a version of yourself that does not chase validation, does not fear misunderstanding, and does not collapse under pressure. This version is steady. This version is discerning. This version is deeply rooted. What once triggered you will soon no longer have power over you. What once confused you will soon be clear. What once drained you will soon be released. This is not because the world is changing, but because you are. Stay patient with yourself. Growth is not linear. Some days you will feel strong. Some days you will feel tired. Both are part of the process. Do not measure progress by constant confidence. Measure it by resilience. There is more insight coming. More understanding about how to move forward without losing your peace. More clarity about what to release and what to protect. Stay with this process. Do not rush ahead. Do not turn back. You are exactly where you need to be. My beloved child of God, stay with this moment and do not let your attention drift, because what is unfolding now is the continuation of the same truth, moving you deeper into understanding, not away from it. Nothing here is disconnected. Every realization you are having, every emotion that rises and settles, every pause you feel in your spirit is part of a larger alignment taking place within you. You are not losing anything real. You are shedding what can no longer travel with you. There is a quiet strength developing inside you now, and it may not feel dramatic or powerful in the way the world defines strength, but it is far more enduring. This strength does not need to announce itself. It does not need to argue, explain, or prove. It stands calmly, rooted in knowing. And that knowing is growing in you day by day, even when you cannot put words to it. You are beginning to recognize patterns that once repeated without question. Situations that once pulled you into emotional loops are losing their grip. Words that once cut deeply now land softly or not at all. This is not numbness. This is healing. This is perspective. This is what happens when you stop internalizing what was never yours to carry. There will be moments when you look back at how you used to respond and barely recognize yourself. Not with shame, but with compassion. You did the best you could with the awareness you had then. Now you know better, and so you move differently. Growth does not erase your past, it redeems it. You are learning that peace does not come from controlling outcomes, but from trusting your inner alignment. When something is right for you, it does not require constant effort to sustain. It flows. It settles. It feels grounded. When something is wrong for you, your spirit resists even if your mind tries to justify it. Listen to that resistance. It is guidance. There is also an important lesson unfolding now about emotional responsibility. You are not responsible for fixing how others feel about your choices. You are not required to sacrifice your well-being to keep others comfortable. Love does not demand self-abandonment. Healthy connection respects individuality. Some people may accuse you of changing. Let them. Growth always looks like change to those who benefit from you staying the same. You are not obligated to remain small so others can feel secure. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to choose peace over familiarity. You may notice now that your tolerance for chaos has decreased. You no longer feel drawn to drama, emotional intensity, or constant conflict. This is not boredom. This is maturity. Your nervous system is seeking safety. Your soul is seeking stability. Honor that need. This season is also teaching you discernment in emotional attachment. Not every connection deserves emotional investment. Energy is precious. Attention is sacred. Where you place it matters. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it is responsible. There may be moments when you feel tempted to re-engage with situations you know are draining, simply because they are familiar. Familiarity can feel comforting even when it is harmful. But comfort is not always safety. And safety is what you are learning to prioritize. You are being invited to build a life that feels calm on the inside, not just successful on the outside. External success without internal peace is fragile. Internal peace creates resilience that no external circumstance can shake. You are also learning the power of patience. Not everything needs immediate resolution. Some things resolve themselves when you stop feeding them with attention. Distance brings clarity. Time exposes truth. Stillness reveals direction. There is a quiet confidence forming in you now. Not arrogance. Not defensiveness. Confidence rooted in self-trust. You are beginning to trust your decisions, your instincts, your timing. This trust did not come overnight. It was earned through experience, reflection, and growth. You are no longer seeking permission to protect your peace. You are no longer asking others to validate your boundaries. You are choosing alignment over approval. And this choice will serve you well in every area of your life. There may be grief in this process. Grief for versions of yourself, for relationships that once mattered deeply, for futures you once imagined. Allow that grief. Grief is not weakness. It is evidence that you cared. But do not let grief anchor you to what no longer fits. Honor it, then release it. You are stepping into a season where your inner world becomes your priority. Where your emotional health matters as much as your external responsibilities. Where rest is not guilt-ridden but intentional. Where silence is not emptiness but nourishment. Pay attention to what brings you back to yourself. What calms your mind? What steadies your heart? What reminds you of who you are beyond roles, expectations, and obligations? Make space for those things. They are not luxuries, they are necessities. You are also learning that not every truth needs confrontation. Sometimes the wisest response is withdrawal. Not all battles are meant to be fought. Some are meant to be outgrown. Walking away is not defeat when it preserves your peace. There is a deeper trust being built now between you and the divine. A trust that does not panic when answers are delayed. A trust that rests even when outcomes are uncertain. This trust is not passive. It is grounded. It knows that what is meant for you will not miss you. You are being reminded that your life is not behind schedule. Comparison distorts perception. Everyone's path unfolds differently. Your timing is your own. What matters is alignment, not speed. Soon, you will notice that things begin to settle naturally. Conversations become clearer. Decisions feel easier. Opportunities align without force. This is what happens when you stop swimming against your own intuition. You are not losing momentum. You are refining direction. You are not falling apart. You are coming together in a more authentic way. Stay present. Stay patient. Stay rooted. There is still more to unfold, more clarity to come, more peace to settle into place. What you are becoming requires this process. And you are handling it with more grace than you realize. My beloved child of God, remain here with me and let your spirit stay open, because what unfolds now is not separate from what you have already received. It is the same stream, flowing deeper, carrying you further into understanding, into rest, into quiet strength. Nothing is being rushed. Nothing is being forced. You are being guided gently, deliberately, into a place where fear no longer controls your responses and confusion no longer dominates your thoughts. You are beginning to realize that clarity does not always arrive as sudden answers. Sometimes clarity arrives as calm. As the absence of inner noise. As the quiet knowing that you do not need to figure everything out right now. This calm is not avoidance. It is trust. It is the understanding that you are held even when outcomes are not yet visible. There was a time when uncertainty made you anxious, when unanswered questions kept your mind restless. But now something is shifting. You are learning to sit with uncertainty without letting it steal your peace. You are learning that not knowing everything does not mean something is wrong. It simply means the story is still unfolding. You may notice that you are less reactive than before. Situations that once triggered immediate emotional responses now meet a pause instead. This pause is powerful. It creates space between stimulus and response. In that space, wisdom grows. In that space, you regain control over your direction. You are also learning that you do not need to rescue everyone. You do not need to fix situations that are not yours to fix. Compassion does not require self-sacrifice. Empathy does not demand self-neglect. You are allowed to care without carrying burdens that were never meant for you. This season is teaching you to distinguish between responsibility and obligation. Responsibility aligns with your values and capacity. Obligation often comes wrapped in guilt and pressure. Learn to recognize the difference. When you act from alignment, you feel grounded even if the decision is difficult. When you act from obligation, you feel drained and resentful. Let this awareness guide you. There is also a refinement happening in how you view love. Love is not meant to hurt repeatedly. Love is not meant to confuse consistently. Love is not meant to require you to abandon yourself to keep it alive. True love grows in safety, honesty, and mutual respect. Anything that demands you shrink, silence yourself, or tolerate harm is not aligned with your highest good. You are allowed to desire peace without apology. You are allowed to seek stability without guilt. You are allowed to want a life that feels safe on the inside, not just impressive on the outside. These desires are not weakness. They are wisdom. As you continue forward, you may feel moments of doubt creeping in, whispering that you are doing too much, or not enough, or that you are missing something important. When this happens, return to your breath. Return to stillness. Doubt thrives in noise. Truth speaks clearly in quiet. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not failing. You are learning. And learning is not linear. Some days will feel light. Some days will feel heavy. Neither defines your worth or your progress. There is something powerful about the way you are learning to trust yourself again. To trust your perception. To trust your timing. To trust that you can handle what comes next because you have handled what came before. This trust is rebuilding your confidence from the inside out. You are also discovering that rest is productive. Rest restores perspective. Rest replenishes energy. Rest sharpens intuition. You do not need to earn rest by exhaustion. You are allowed to pause simply because you need to. As you protect your inner world, your outer world will begin to reflect that order. Relationships will become clearer. Opportunities will feel more aligned. Decisions will feel less forced. This is the natural result of inner alignment. There are things being resolved in your favor that you are not yet aware of. Conversations happening without your presence. Doors quietly opening. Obstacles dissolving. Trust that what is meant to move will move without you pushing it. You are being reminded that your story is not defined by one season. Hard seasons do not negate future joy. Confusing seasons do not cancel future clarity. Painful chapters do not erase the ending that is still being written. Soon, you will look back at this time with gratitude, not because it was easy, but because it taught you how strong you are when you stop fighting yourself. When you stop doubting your worth. When you stop abandoning your needs to meet expectations that were never yours to carry. There is a deep peace waiting for you, not in the absence of challenges, but in the presence of trust. Trust that you are guided. Trust that you are protected. Trust that you are becoming exactly who you need to be for what is ahead. Stay gentle with yourself. Growth does not require harshness. Healing does not require punishment. You are allowed to be kind to yourself in the process of becoming. You are not walking this path alone. Even when it feels quiet, you are supported. Even when answers are delayed, you are guided. Even when outcomes are uncertain, you are held. Remain open. Remain steady. Remain rooted. There is still more unfolding, more reassurance, more clarity, more strength to come. And you are ready for it, even if you do not feel like it yet.